Hey, welcome to Hardware Asylum. In this video, we're going to be going over the SilverStone LSB02. It has a fancy remote that allows you to control the RGB lighting in your system using their own ecosystem. And a little button at the bottom where you can go into demo mode. That will show you every one of the lighting configurations in sequence. It'll just randomly go through them all. There's an ARGB mode, which is the Addressable RGB. And this is where you can get the really cool lighting effects that go around. There's a second mode as well that will change the lights based off of what controller output you have the lights hooked into. Here we have red in the front and green in the back because they're on two different channels. There's also a standard RGB mode, which allows it to do the breathing and changing colors, similar to what you see on motherboards and whatnot. From here, there's a selection button where you can go through the different colors and the different modes, like here's the breathing in purple. And this selection is addressable on both the A RGB and standard RGB modes. Here I am just kind of clicking through the different colors and combinations. The one thing that's nice about the LSB02 is how many different configurations there are. And you really just have to click through until you find the one that you like. If you're on the RGB mode and you want to match the color of your motherboard, just flip through until you get the color you want. Of course, I like the addressable RGB because it gives you a lot of different configurations. Yeah, if you're not interested in seeing all the different lighting modes, skip forward to about the 7-minute mark, and I'll be giving you a detailed look at the build itself, including what's inside it and also what the system looks like when the lights are down. The SilverStone LSB02 has a handy remote with some membrane buttons. It's not exactly the best controller, but it is very reminiscent of some of the other RGB kits out there that have this remote. Unfortunately, this is also the only way to control the lights on the LSB02. But again, once you find the lighting mode that you want, you pretty much are going to stick with it. In addition to the RGB, which is really the biggest feature of the LSB02, we have a fan controller, which is also controllable from the remote, and also a temperature sensor, which I believe is going to control the speed of the fans. However, in my experience of just using it, the fans tend to go at the highest speed, even though that you can adjust them. The fans featured in this particular build are the Air Penetrator 140mm versions with the addressable RGB lights around the ring. They also have a PWM controller, so you can plug them directly into the motherboard and control them that way, and have the lights addressable on the controller itself. There are some pretty cool lighting modes in the addressable RGB section of the LSB02, including these amazing fades that make it look like the color is shifting around. Now we're getting into the lighting modes that have the, what I would call, color chasers. There are 2 points on the strip that have a color and it fades away, and then it's followed in with another color that also fades away. It makes it look like it's chasing from one end to the other. This lighting mode has 4 lights that chase around, very similar to the other mode, except that it doesn't have the fade. In place of that, it has a secondary color. So you have this colored light that goes across the strip with the other colors in the background. Here we have a pair of lights that actually move around. I like this mode the best because it gives it a unique look that you don't normally see with a RGB controller. This last mode is really fun because it has these sweeps that go through with the color that changes. The SilverStone LSB02 really does have a number of different lighting modes that you don't normally see in an RGB controller. And it's not something that you're going to sit down and program yourself, so it's great to have them selectable. This lighting mode has these lights that build as they move across the strips. This one's really quite fun as well, and you can choose any variety of colors. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the lights. The light strips and the fans used for the LSB02 are really quite bright, and it's something that you can see once I turn the lights off. You can still see the stuff on my workbench being lit up as I pan through the different modes. Inside the build, I have 240mm fans up front, providing airflow inside the case. The system is water cooled. We are using the Z390 WaterForce Extreme from Aris. Have a HyperX SSD with LED lights, 1500 watt SilverStone titanium Strider power supply, 140mm fan in the back. Ballistics tactical tracer memory. Here you can see the strips as they are being linked together. They chase across the ones that are linked. The strip at the bottom is an independent off of a fan. The ones at the top are linked together. Here's a look at the entire build. And with the remote, you can also turn it all off. Thanks for watching.